passing your property at your death, let's talk about the third evil of estate planning, or avoiding depletion of your estate because of long-term care costs. The average cost of nursing home care in America is about $70,000 a year. Here in Louisiana, it's less than that. It's about $50,000 a year. Louisiana is usually last in everything. This is actually one category we are last in, but it's a good thing. Nursing home care in Louisiana is cheaper than any other state in America. So about $50,000. That's still a lot of money. 24-hour-a-day care at home may run $300 to $350 a day if you had 24-hour-a-day care. Assisted living care here in Louisiana can range anywhere from about $24,000 to $50,000, depending upon the level of care that's needed. And in fact, $50,000 is probably a little low. I know people in some assisted living facilities that are paying $6,000 to $8,000 a year because they're in a Alzheimer's unit or something like that, and so that would run more like $72,000 to $84,000 a year. I think I messed up on the math there, but it's a lot of money. This does not include your costs of prescriptions, any therapy you need, clothing, or other necessities. This is just the cost of the facility, or the cost of having someone come into your home. So for most of us, coming out of pocket with this type of money is going to be very difficult, especially for a long period of time. And so it's very important that we plan for long-term care. People that were in our parents' generation didn't know they were going to live as long as they have. And so they didn't plan for long-term care. But we know now that the doctors can keep us alive a lot longer than we should be. And we're going to live a long time after the point where we're able to take care of ourselves sometimes. And so we want to make sure that as a part of our financial plan and our estate plan, that we've got some provisions for long-term care. There are basically 4 ways you can pay for long-term care. What I've talked about is self-paying. And again, most of us cannot self-pay for a very long period of time. The next option is long-term care insurance. And this is probably the best option. So if you are young enough, and you don't have to be that young, everybody in this room is probably young enough to qualify for long-term care insurance, then you should consider that as a part of your estate plan. Long-term care insurance is a type of insurance that says if you need assistance with 2 activities of daily living, then this insurance is going to pay you generally a certain amount of money per day to help pay for those costs. Now, most people think, well, long-term care insurance is only for old people. But you might be surprised. The 3 major cases that we have had in this country that have gone to the Supreme Court about people who were in end-of-life decisions and had been kept alive for long periods of time on respirators, who had years and years of long-term care, were all young people. How many of you remember the Terri Schiavo case from a few years ago? Everybody? Yeah. She was a young person. Had she had long-term care insurance, that type of insurance would have paid for her care. The other way, if you don't have long-term care insurance, is Medicaid. But Medicaid is a program that only pays if you have depleted almost all of your assets. Also, Medicaid is a program that only pays if you're in a nursing home. Most people don't want to plan to go to a nursing home. Most people want to stay at home. And so that's something that having long-term care insurance can allow them to do. There are also some VA benefits that are available for veterans or their surviving spouses. But again, those benefits are based upon having a limited amount of resources. And so You may have to spend all of your money until you get down to those resource limits before you will qualify for either of those programs. For Medicaid, as I said, there's an asset limit. A single person can't have more than $2,000. A married couple can't have more than $111,560 together. $2,000 for the spouse who's in the nursing home and $109,560 for the spouse who's outside of the nursing home. And that is the amount of money they're going to have to live on the rest of their life. And that may not be enough. They may have to spend everything down until they get to that amount before they qualify for Medicaid. They can't have income greater than $2,022 a month. Their house is exempt. It doesn't count towards that asset limit. But if Medicaid pays for care in a nursing home, they can come back and place a lien against that house and get paid back. And so while it's exempt going in, that doesn't mean you're still going to be able to preserve the value of it. There's also a transfer penalty. So anybody who gives property away is going to be disqualified for Medicaid for 1 month for every $4,000 they gave away. There's also a look-back period. And so anytime anybody files a Medicaid application, if they gave away any property within the past 5 years, they're going to look back for those 5 years. And if they gave anything away, they're going to impose this penalty. So for most people, seniors are going to have to wait much longer to receive benefits. They're going to have to spend those assets down if they haven't made other arrangements. Their heirs may not receive all of their assets because they may go to pay back Medicaid or they may be spent down. And seniors are going to be penalized for giving away gifts or assets to their loved ones. Can you qualify for Medicaid and still retain control of your property? Probably not, but you can do some planning. As I said, I recommend to all of my clients, if they can get long-term care insurance, they should make that a part of their plan. If they can't, then they may be able to do some planning by transferring their assets far enough ahead of time before they need nursing home care and 5 years before they need care. Problem is we never know, usually. So a lot of people wait too late. But that is one way that they may be able to protect some assets. But what if somebody waits too long? Is there any way then to protect assets? There are some ways. There are some strategies that experienced elder law attorneys can use. But if you're ever in that situation, if you have a loved one who needs long-term care, who needs nursing home care, you need to see an elder law attorney immediately to see if there's some things you can do to help protect those assets, to take care of them, and later to take care of their spouse or their heirs.